India's daring move leaves America speechless. And let me tell you something right here. This ain't just about politics. This ain't just about economics. This is about a nation that finally realized its own worth. You see, for too long, the world's been looking at India as a land of potential, but never giving it the full respect. For decades, India has been told to wait its turn, to stand in line, to follow rules written by somebody else. But when you know your own worth, when you finally stop begging for a seat at the table and start building your own table, then everything changes. And that's exactly what's happening right now. India is standing tall, shoulders square, chest out, eyes locked forward, saying to the whole world, we don't need anybody's permission anymore. That's the real daring move, because the truth is the strongest power in this world isn't just military. It isn't just economic, it's confidence. And right now, India has stepped into that place of confidence where it's not seeking approval. And when a country reaches that level, when 1 billion+ people stand together with the same determination, that's when even America, yes, America, the so-called superpower, has to sit back and realize something big has shifted. Now, let's get real here. America ain't used to being left speechless. America ain't used to watching another nation take a move so bold, so calculated that they don't even have a ready answer for it. But India has reached that point where its decisions aren't being made to please Washington, to fit into London's expectations, or to earn applause from Europe. No, India is making moves that are designed for one thing only: India's rise, India's future, India's destiny. And when you start living by your own rules, when you start writing your own story, the world doesn't know how to react. They're shocked, they're scrambling, they're speechless. Think about it. India used to be the country people underestimated. They said, oh, it's too crowded, too divided, too poor, too complicated. They had 1,000 excuses for why India couldn't rise. But India never stopped moving. Step by step, brick by brick, India built itself up. The IT revolution, the space missions, the defense breakthroughs, the economic reforms, all of it has been adding up to this moment. And now the world can't deny it anymore. That daring move, whatever it looks like on the outside, represents a deeper truth. India is no longer asking for recognition. It is commanding it. Let me break it down in simple terms. When you've been underestimated your whole life, and then one day you walk into the room and outshine everybody, they don't know what to say. That's exactly the energy India has right now. For decades, America has been the one calling the shots, dictating terms, using its power to keep others in check. But now here comes India, not with arrogance, but with undeniable strength. And America's like, hold up, when did this happen? Well, it happened while you were too busy looking somewhere else. It happened because India kept its head down, kept working, kept grinding, and now the results are impossible to ignore. And this daring move is not just one action. It's a mindset. It's the decision to buy weapons on its own terms, to do business with whoever it wants, to refuse pressure from any foreign capital. It's saying we'll take oil from this country, we'll trade with that country, we'll partner with whoever we choose, and no one, not even America, is going to tell us otherwise. That's bold, that's fearless, that's history in the making. And when America sees that, it's left without words because for the first time the script flipped. Now here's what makes it even more powerful. India ain't just doing this for itself. It's setting an example for the entire global South, for every nation that's ever been told it's not big enough, not powerful enough, not rich enough to stand tall. India is saying, watch us. We're going to show you how it's done. And that's why the world is paying attention, because it's one thing to rise quietly, but when your rise shakes the balance of power, when it rattles the very foundation of the global order, then everybody has to take notice. Think about how America usually responds to challenges. When another country steps out of line, they threaten sanctions, they put pressure, they flex their muscle. But when India made its daring move, America couldn't just pull the same tricks, because India ain't some small nation you can bully. India is too big, important, too powerful to push around, and more than that, India is respected. India has built relationships, alliances, and trust across the world, from Russia to France, from Africa to the Middle East, from Japan to Southeast Asia. India has positioned itself as the friend everybody wants. So when India makes a bold move, America has to think twice. They can't just snap their fingers and expect compliance. They're realizing India has options, leverage, and influence, and that's what leaves them speechless. Let's talk about courage for a minute, because courage is what separates dreamers from doers. Every great nation in history has had that one moment where it decides enough is enough. No more waiting, no more asking permission. It's time to take what we've earned. India, this is that moment. A daring move takes guts. It takes the willingness to face criticism, to stand firm in the storm, to say we know what we're doing and we're not backing down. And the more the world tries to test India, the stronger India becomes, because this nation was built on resilience. You can't survive centuries of struggle. You can't fight poverty. You can't endure invasions and division and still rise to the top unless you've got unshakable strength inside you. That's what India carries, and that's what fuels this daring move. And let me tell you something about silence. When the loudest voice in the room suddenly goes quiet, it's not because they have nothing to say. It's because they don't know how to respond. That's where America is right now. For decades, the U.S. has had an answer for every rising power. But with India, it's different, because America knows. It can't ignore India. It can't stop India. It can't even predict India anymore. That's power. Real power isn't about how loud you can shout. It's about how much your actions leave others stunned into silence. Now, don't get it twisted. This ain't about hostility. This ain't about rivalry for the sake of rivalry. This is about respect. India's daring move isn't saying we hate you. It's saying we don't fear you. And that's a huge difference, because for far too long international relations have been built on fear. Who fears who submits to who. But India's flipping that script. India has shown that respect comes not from bowing down but from standing tall. And once you prove you can't be intimidated, once you show that you will only move on your own terms, then even the biggest powers in the world have to respect you. And here's the thing, this is just the beginning. India's daring move may have left America speechless today, but tomorrow it's going to leave the entire world in awe, because this isn't a one-time stunt. This is the start of a new era, an era where India's voice is one of the loudest in the global conversation, an era where India isn't just participating, it's leading, an era where every move India makes shifts the balance of power. And the best part is, India is not doing this through fear or manipulation. It's doing this through sheer determination, vision, and strength of character. That's why it's so powerful. See, when you've been ignored long enough, your breakthrough doesn't just change you. It changes the whole system, and India's breakthrough is exactly that. It's making the world rethink alliances, rethink strategies, rethink the way power is distributed, because now there's a new force to reckon with, and it's not hiding in the shadows anymore. It's out in the open, daring, fearless, unapologetic, and that right there is why America is left speechless. India's daring move proves that the future doesn't belong to those who cling to old power structures. It belongs to those who have the courage to break free, to stand up, to take their place without waiting for permission. And that's the message every Indian should carry with pride, because this ain't just about governments and policies. It's about people. It's about a billion dreams coming together, a billion voices saying in unison, we will not be ignored. The world is watching. The silence of America isn't weakness, it's recognition that India has arrived, that the balance has shifted, that a new chapter has begun. And as this story unfolds, there's one undeniable truth. India's dare and move was not just bold. It was necessary, necessary for itself, necessary for the world, necessary for the future. And when a nation finds the courage to do what's necessary, not just what's easy, then history bows down. History takes note. History writes your name in bold letters, and right now that name is India. The future no longer belongs to those who dominate. It belongs to those who redefine dominance, and India just did. For centuries, history was written by those who conquered through brute force, who held power in their fists, who believed dominance meant imposing your will on everyone else. The old empires, the colonial powers, the so-called superpowers of the modern era, they all thought the same way. Control the resources, control the trade routes, control the military balance, and you control the world. But the truth is that type of dominance always comes with an expiration date. Empires fall, economies crumble, armies wear out, and fear eventually loses its grip. What lasts longer than fear is respect, and respect cannot be taken. It must be earned. That's where India steps into the story, because India has chosen not to follow the old model of dominance, but to redefine it altogether. See, real dominance today isn't about raising the biggest army or dropping the biggest bomb. It's about influence, resilience, and the power to stand unshaken in the middle of storms. And India, through its daring choices, has shown the world that dominance doesn't have to mean destruction. It can mean setting new rules, building new systems, and creating a future where others look to you not because they're afraid of you, but because they trust you. And that's exactly what has left America speechless. Because for so long, the United States has been the one dictating how dominance looks: military alliances, economic sanctions, political pressure. But now India is proving that you can rise, you can lead, and you can shape the world by doing it differently. Look around and you'll see it. The West thought dominance was about controlling oil routes, but India is cutting deals for energy on its own terms with countries others don't even dare to engage. The West thought dominance was about military intimidation, but India is developing defense systems so advanced that others are now coming to India to buy, not the other way around. The West thought dominance was about forcing smaller countries into submission, but India is building friendships instead of dependencies. It's a different game entirely, and the beauty of it is this: when you change the game, you change the outcome. And India has done exactly that. Now, let's be real. Redefining dominance isn't easy. It means walking away from the old comfort zones. It means saying no when everyone expects you to say yes. It means holding your ground even when the biggest players in the world are trying to push you back. India is doing all of that. When told who to trade with, it said no. When told how to vote, it said no. When told which side to choose, it said no. And that simple word, backed up by power, is the ultimate act of dominance in today's world. Because the true test of strength isn't about how many people you can control. It's about how firmly you can control yourself. Think about the psychology of it. America is used to nations following its lead, nodding along, accepting the role of the junior partner. But here comes India, not trying to be a junior anything, not asking to be included in a club, but building its own table and saying, "You're welcome to sit if you want, but we're not waiting." That's dominance redefined, and it shakes the old order to its core because it proves you don't need permission to lead. You don't need validation from the so-called powerful to be powerful. You just need the courage to step into your own identity and own it. Dominance in the old sense was loud, aggressive, and often destructive. Dominance in the new sense is quiet, confident, and creative. India isn't forcing nations into deals through threats. It's attracting them through opportunity. Nations aren't bowing down to India. because they fear sanctions. They're standing with India because they see a partner who respects their sovereignty. That shift changes everything because once the world realizes you don't need to be feared to be powerful, fear starts to lose its hold as the currency of influence. That's the revolution India has sparked. Now, here's where it gets even deeper. Redefining dominance means redefining leadership. The leaders of the past built legacies on conquest. The leaders of the future will build legacies on cooperation. India, with its history, its culture, its diversity, is uniquely positioned to lead this way because India knows what it means to be colonized, to be underestimated, to be told you're not enough. That history gives it empathy, and empathy is the secret weapon in today's world. Because while old dominance says my way or no way, redefined dominance says there's room for all of us. But don't mistake kindness for weakness. And that's why India's model is so powerful. It balances firmness with fairness, strength with humility. Let me paint a picture. Imagine a playground. For years, the biggest kid on the playground has been pushing others around, taking their toys, deciding the rules of the game. That's the old model of dominance, but then another kid comes along. He's not trying to push anyone, but he's smart, resourceful, confident. He brings his own ball, gathers other kids, starts a new game. At first, the bully doesn't know what to do. He can't just take the ball because this new kid has too many friends standing with him. He can't ignore him because the new game looks more fun, more fair, and more kids are leaving to join it. That's what India is doing on the global stage, starting a new game. And when the rules change, the old bully doesn't look so powerful anymore. This is why America is speechless, because it's not facing a rival that's copying its style. It's facing a rival that's rewriting the definition of power itself. You can prepare for competition in your own game, but when someone invents a new game altogether, you're caught off guard. India is not trying to be the next America. It's trying to be the first India, and that uniqueness is what makes it unstoppable. Redefining dominance also means redefining success. In the old playbook, success was measured by how many nations bowed down to you, how many bases you had around the world, how many economies you could sanction into collapse. But in the new playbook, success is measured by how many nations want to work with you, how many partnerships you can build, how many people trust you with their future. And by those measures, India is winning in ways that leave even the most powerful nation stunned. Look at technology. India didn't wait for the West to hand over opportunities. It built its own Silicon Valley, created its own innovation hubs, launched its own rockets into space. Look at trade. India didn't limit itself to one block. It spread out, diversified, made deals everywhere. Look at culture. India's movies, music, food, spirituality, all of it influences billions around the globe. That's dominance without domination. That's influence without oppression. That's leadership that comes from within, not from above. And make no mistake, this isn't just about economics or culture. This is about mindset. The future belongs to nations that are resilient, adaptable, and unafraid to walk their own path. India has shown that by refusing to bend to pressure, by refusing to compromise its independence, it has become the very model of what tomorrow's power looks like. The daring move wasn't just about one decision. It was about sending a message to the whole world. We will rise on our terms. America is speechless because deep down it knows this shift is permanent. Once dominance is redefined, there's no going back. Once the world sees that strength doesn't require fear, fear stops being effective. Once people understand that respect outlasts intimidation, intimidation loses its shine. That's why this moment is so historic. India has not just risen. It has reset the standard for what rising means. And here's the most powerful part. India isn't even finished yet. What the world has seen so far is only the beginning. The daring moves, the bold decisions, the refusal to bow down, that's just the opening act. The real story is still being written, and with every step. India has proven that the future doesn't belong to those who cling to the past. It belongs to those who have the courage to reinvent it. India has taken that courage, turned it into action, and in doing so has left America without words, without answers, without the certainty it once had. Because the future no longer belongs to those who dominate, it belongs to those who redefine dominance. And India just